Hi, this is Amanda Fagan, and this is Module 7. So I started this video with a little snippet of a big pile of dirt in my front yard, and for my positive customer service example was actually happened yesterday, so it was kind of coincidence that this was the assignment this week. We were at Menards. I needed a large amount of dirt, 150 bags to be exact, and we got the ticket and we went to the back section. And there was one kid, young man, that was helping everybody. It's the first beautiful Saturday of the spring. It's May, it's late, and everybody was trying to get everything. And like I said, there was one person working in the back. This guy was working his butt off, and he was kind and helpful. He also kind of checked in with everybody. No, not kind of. He did check in with everybody, asked them what they needed, and said, okay, and gave them explanations as to what he was doing. I watched him unload our pallet of our first bunch of dirt and then quickly run over to the next guy, and I mean run, to help him load railroad ties into his truck. Came back to us with the pallet, said, I'm going to go help the next person and those people over there, and then I'll be back with your second pallet of dirt. He was amazing. I actually took the time to call their customer service desk after we left, because especially in this day and age, everybody's so short-handed. I've seen poor waitresses break down in tears because people are screaming at them. And there were people who were patient like us, but then there were other people who weren't patient and were nasty. And he took it all in stride. And it really made me feel good to watch this guy. And like I said, he was very young, and I thought that it was quite impressive. Now I'm going to talk about the bad customer service incident, and this is my personal bad customer service incident. I'm going to give you a little background, and none of this is an excuse. It's just so you have information leading up to the event. First of all, I've been with my company for over 20 years. I started as the EMT here. We have core values. We call them the TLCs: timeliness, looking good, customer service, and safety always. I try to be a very good employee because I make the joke all the time that if I'm not a good employee, I'm going to get fired, and I can't work a real job after all this time. It happened last summer, and we were responding to a call. When we get a call in a helicopter, we don't get any patient information. The only thing we'll get if it's an interfacility transport is the patient's weight, because the helicopter is all based off of weights and balances. Not till we're already en route will we get like what we're going for, what equipment we'll need, that. The call started off by getting the request, and then the dispatcher took it upon themselves to call us, the med crew, to tell us that this was the husband of the CEO of the hospital system. And it really rubbed me the wrong way. I should never treat a patient different just because there's someone in particular. And so it kind of started with a bad attitude right from the get-go. We get to the scene, we pick up the patient, everything went well at the sending facility, they were great. We landed at the receiving facility, and this is where the patient's family worked, or was the CEO. We landed, and the receiving nurse met us at the helipad, which is a little uncommon. She was nasty right from the beginning. We were in a backup helicopter, which we don't like to work in. It's reliable, it's safe, it's everything, but it doesn't have all the bells and whistles of our normal helicopter. It makes it harder to work in the helicopter. She, first of all, criticized us for not communicating with them. She started telling us that the helicopter was ugly and why did we get a new helicopter? And this was before we had even gotten a patient unloaded. And, you know, then the third thing right out of her mouth as we were, you know who this patient is. And I was just like, really, really not doing well with the circumstance. We take the patient to the ICU room, and the whole entire team, the neuro team waiting for this patient, was there at bedside. And the nurse comes back in and she says, you have to take this patient to CT. Now, the patient was on a vent, and I have a portable, and it's a lot of walking, and I just said, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And what I should have done is said, I need a new oxygen bottle, and yes, we will help you. But I was annoyed. I gave a little attitude, and she was very, well, fine, we'll just put him on the bed. And they did, and the minute I did it, I knew, I'm like, this is going to be a problem. And I was right. I made it back to the station, and the minute I got back to the station, I had a phone call from my manager saying, you know, they were upset. And unfortunately, some of our management's very reactionary. I was told that I had blown the whole contract, that this was, you know, my fault, and it was just gut-wrenching. And I told my manager, I said, you know me, this is not me. This is what happened. I explained the situation. And then I told her, yes, I could have handled that much better. I wish I would have handled it better, because it did no good, and it only caused problems on all levels. How would I provide immediate service recovery and that? I don't know. All I know is that our marketing department, we have a big marketing department, would then deal with it. I know were involved. I know I was talked to, and that was the end of it. That's all I heard from it. What I can do to prevent that kind of circumstance in the future. And like I said, this is not a common occurrence with me. But if I get to that point, I need to step back and let my partner handle it. Vice versa, if my partner is having a bad day, or I notice that my partner is getting a little snappy or snippy with the facility, then I need to make sure that I step in and handle the situation. And one thing I did address was us getting told about who the patient was for future references. So I hope that we were able to rectify the situation. I even offered to apologize for my behavior. Like I said, I didn't yell, I didn't scream. I just was not as good as I should have been. And they were under a lot of stress because it was their CEO's husband, and they didn't want to mess up. So I understand it. And there you go. So I have definitely learned that, you know, just stepping back makes a huge difference, and taking care of the situation right there at hand, and preventing it from ever occurring is really the best way to handle those things. Thank you.